Rated T for teen.
We understood software and how to make games. You know, we'd made a ton of games before. We kind of knew that space. We had an intuition of what to do and what not to do. But with hardware, man, it was so scary.
The thing that we didn't understand was how we're going to design and build these controllers, which I still don't totally understand how we decided to do that ourselves and what we were smoking when we arrived at that conclusion.
Well, I'd never done it before. No one at Harmonix had ever done it before. No one at Viacom had any experience with it. So it was, you know, somebody had to do it.
Let's see, how did Daniel get the manufacturing gig?
Why did we give something so important to Daniel? That's a fine question. Well, we knew it was going to be punishing, and he's a punk rocker, so he can take anything.
No, I mean, here's the thing, is that my superpower in game development is that I kind of don't give a shit.
We had 12,000 people working, you know, 60 hours a week making Rock Band in China.
Right,
It's insane.
Which is more than all of Viacom's employees, right? Probably by twice as much or something.
There were all sorts of points in the process where had things gone a little bit differently, you know, it could easily have failed.
So we had this amazing moment where our lead guitar manufacturer, he flew here from Hong Kong with the golden sample, the first guitar. And this is supposed to be the thing. It's all tooled parts, right? This is like the last step before we build, you know, millions of these things. And it's supposed to work as advertised, and he hands it to Alex, and Alex kind of takes it and is like, starts strumming away, and the look on this guy's face is like, whoa, don't do that, you'll break it.
Then we see the, you know, well, here's how the machine was strumming it. It was going click, 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 click.
And it's like, no, wait a second, that's how people are going to play it. We need to manufacture for that kind of violent playing.
And the engineers in China were just like, why would anybody do that? It's like, well, you don't understand teenage American boys with guitars, do you?
I don't know how many people know this, but initially, the band bundle was sort of not a big thing.
The notion of putting the entire band in a box was kind of nutty. And in fact, I remember our initial meetings when we're discussing this stuff, we thought that was crazy.
I think there was a time period where we were even thinking about maybe there's Drum Hero, and there's not a band game, that we figure out drum gameplay and it's a standalone thing, we glue them together later. It's, you know, there was all kinds of different ideas that bounced around.
We were going to do standalone software with a la carte hardware and maybe do soft bundles at stores, so you know you could sort of configure the box however you wanted.
And then at some point we realized, look, the consumer that's too complicated. The consumer's just going to want to buy the full experience.
So we went from no bundles to 3 million bundles in 2 months.
I was personally a little scared because wow, we're asking people to buy a ton of stuff.
And you know, the great thing about that was, you know, it was a huge leap of faith, but it enabled all these wonderful things to happen.
At our peak, we were actually building 240,000 pieces, bundles, in a week.
Remember that day when you opened it up and there was just so much stuff in there, and you know, you're like, you know, this and the batteries going there and the USB hub goes there, and it's just a big complicated setup, right? You finally set it up and you can get the whole family to play. And you know, I don't think that would have happened. There's just such an exciting moment. I don't think it would have happened if it was piecemeal. There was something about having to put the whole thing together.
We just kept on having these constant surprises, oh, this game is going to require this whole thing, which we don't even have infrastructure for at all, you know, and so we had to build all this stuff.
There was issues about how much current the peripherals could draw from the Xbox. And if it was over the limit, then you needed an AC adapter, which had to be UL listed, and that was you know, a whole process.
This thing was mammoth. I mean,
we were shipping a video game that had a USB hub in the box with it.
Oh God. It's what were we thinking? It's completely crazy.
And we wanted to be wireless, but the wireless chipset wasn't complete yet. There wasn't an Xbox wireless chipset that you could use.
Rock Band 1 in a lot of ways was like trial by fire. And Rock Band 2, I was actually like, we had a lot of stuff figured out by Rock Band 2, and the Beatles, oh my God, we were like a well-oiled machine at that point. People ask the question, well, did you ever see this happening? You know, when you were doing the work, the design work for Rock Band 1, did you think it would ever get to kind of working with Fender on a real guitar? And my answer is like unilaterally, absolutely, right? It's like the whole point was to sort of blur the lines between simulation and music.
We still can't believe that we pulled it off. And you talk to Daniel and he'll tell you that at any moment in time we were sort of like this close to catastrophic failure. And somehow just, we just kind of always saved it from the nosedive and pulled back up again.
And I think there's a book to be written, that kind of describes how this entire franchise was constantly hanging by a thread, and at any moment, if that customs officer doesn't let us through, like, we're doomed, or if like this shipment doesn't come in from whatever, or if Logitech can't get the mics, or we can't find wood for the drumsticks, we're doomed, and my life for almost 3 years was all around like not dooming the franchise.
In fact, the reason you've seen this huge boom in the Chinese economy is because of us.
So you ruined America, is what you're saying.
Basically. Rock Band ruined America.
Yeah, but
Good job.